Hello everybody, a very good morning to you and welcome back to another Taurex and Atmos live stream here on this Wednesday morning. It's been a fairly choppy start to the week actually, not really been one where I've been able to find any clear direction, so we're going to have a rundown of the current, or the trades that I've placed at the beginning of the week and posted in the Discord channel, and have a look at what is definitely the busiest day of the week in terms of actual news events that we've got coming out, and we'll take a look and break those down individually into each asset class, just to make sure everyone's on the same wavelength and same page. Hello to those coming on to the YouTube channel. Bobby, hello to you, good to see you, hope you're doing well. Osama, hello to you, good to see you. Laura, Curtin and Daniel, good to see you all. Thank you very much for tuning in. If anyone has any markets that they want me to cover today, then please put that in the YouTube chat, and I'll be more than happy to cover, because there's probably quite a lot of different markets which we could cover. So if there's any specific ones that you're trading today, let me know, and I can give you my opinion on those at the moment. If not, I'm going to start with giving you a breakdown of the trades that I placed this week and the new trade that I'm currently active in as of this morning, I think, and then have a look at any other opportunities marrying up with the the high impact news that we've got coming out. I think it's the brightness on it. I'm good. Yeah, I'm all good. It's probably because I've got a dark screen on at the moment. I know why. Let me show you. I'll show you a fix to that problem. Ready? There we go. That's better. I forgot to turn that on. Yeah, it's actually the trade I'm on is actually on it's on GBP USD. McDonald, hello to you. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. Is this the first time on one of my streams? It might be. It's good to see you anyway. Thank you. GBP USD. Yeah, that's fine. I can take a look at that. It's actually the trade that I'm placing at the moment, to be fair. Thought it'd be better. Nice. Okay. So at the beginning of the week, you'll probably remember, if you follow the trade ideas section in the Discord channel, where I always post my my personal trades. We had fair value gaps on all three of these stock markets from over the weekend, and this is an example where it didn't work. And it's important to study these examples as well, because nothing is ever guaranteed in the market, and there's no piece of analysis or no strategy which is 100% successful. And it's actually good to see sometimes that things don't always work. So basically what I done was I looked to trade the bearish fair value gap. I looked to try and trade some downside on the US 30. And I put my stop loss above this wick, so I'll show you what the trade looked like. If I just draw a short position, the trade looked roughly like this. And you can see that I got stopped out pretty quickly, and I only put 0.5% on that sell. Yes, McDonald, I'll take a look at euro dollar for you, no problem. Yep, I'll take a look at that. And what I then looked to do was, when the main trade I was looking for was a break above the fair value gap with a retest of it, and then to go higher. That was my main trade. It actually ended up being a trade, I think, on the NASDAQ. So you can see basically what I done was this. We had all of this, and this came down, and then eventually, even though it was really messy, and I sort of regret taking the trade, we had a break above, and here was the retest, stop loss here, and you can see the trade never really got going, and I was stopped out. So I actually lost 1.5% across those two trades and those pieces of analysis. And when that happens, I always write it down in my trading journal. I haven't actually really showed my trading journal much. I don't know why, but I've just been busy studying these markets instead. So when that happens, what I do is, I was risk managed on the trade, so that's fine. I then just put it down as I would have always taken that trade, so I have no problem with losers. It doesn't affect me. I didn't even flinch when it lost, because that's part of trading. You always take losers. Jessica, hello to you. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're doing well, and thank you very much for tuning in this morning. Okay, GBP USD. It's good to go on to that actually, Bobby. I'll tell you why, because I'm actually long GBP USD. I'm actually long. Why am I long? Well, one of the strategies that I use is called the trend rider strategy. You probably, if you've watched my streams, you've heard me talk about it a few times, and you can see we had a bullish crossover down here. Beautiful entry. So this red line is at EMA 12. The blue line is at EMA 36, and I use the ADX indicator, which is this red line down here, to determine the strength of the trend. Essentially, what happens is when the ADX is moving higher, that means the strength of the trend is bullish. No, that's not true at all. When the ADX is moving higher, that means there's a strong trend in either direction, and when the ADX is moving lower, that means we're entering a period of consolidation. And you can see how that worked, right? You can see the ADX ticking higher at the same time. You can see the price move up here, and as the market sort of consolidated a bit, you see the collapse in the ADX. So I've entered long on GU personally here at the retest of this EMA 12 with a stop loss just below the EMA 36 there, 42 pip stop loss, in the hope that what we're seeing here is this in the ADX, and therefore this in GU. That's what I'm looking for. Osama, I can't get the journal up now because I have to, it's all run through my software, so all the screens are set up already, but I'll go through it on the next stream. WTI is moving nicely. It is indeed. I will take a look at WTI. It's part of my list for today, Laura. I'll take a look at that for you. So that's the trade that I'm in at the moment. So, as always, for full transparency, obviously if you do manage to catch the live streams, then you can get the access to this analysis quicker. That's the benefit, but I will post it in the trade ideas section. Let's see how we get on. I've posted that in the Atmos and the Taurex Discord channel. Daniel, using the stochastics, the stock for entries on the trend rider, but it's not giving you the buy yet. Okay. If I have to, if I'm being honest, when I'm looking at it now, I'm just wondering whether this is like almost like a liquidity grab, and we're actually going to see this. But I try not to. Okay. Oh, I see. Fair enough. I try not to get too. What's the word? I try not to put my opinion too much into the trend rider. Like, it's got clear rules. If the rules suit, then I execute. You know, I try not to tamper with it too much. Okay, let me go back to my normal charts, and let's just take a look at. I'll actually take a look at WTI. Oh, sorry, yeah, euro dollar. Forgot about that. Sorry, McDonald. My bad. I'll do euro dollar now, and then I'll do WTI after, oil after. Interesting. On the 4-hour time frame, I'm seeing signs of a head and shoulders pattern. We may have just created the right shoulder. So that's definitely one for the bears to take a look at, like a reversal trade. So how we trade that is we wait for a break below this neckline, retest, and then that. That's the bearish view on euro dollar. That looks really strong, doesn't it, actually? Actually, no, I'm going to keep that there. Just bear that one in mind. We're definitely in a period of consolidation now. I can imagine a lot of people are getting chopped out of the markets. It's probably why I found that I lost at the beginning of the week. Sort of like we had those big expansive moves from like the tariffs, etc. And I wouldn't say things have calmed down, but things have sort of stabilised, and so the volatility's fallen. And when you get that, you see like a big period of, look at this. It's just a mess, right? It's really difficult to try and gauge any sort of direction. So McDonald, if I was trading euro dollar, I would probably wait for, and I'm not a massive head and shoulders pattern, but it's so obvious. It's really clear to me. And that's right, Osama. Yeah, if the euro head and shoulders is right, if it's right, then GU could be in danger. That's correct. But let's see. The head and shoulders might not be right, you know. So we could see a situation where this is actually acting as support. We may see a break above, and we might see a move back up to this high, and then we can ignore this. So I'm still willing to take the risk on GU because it's a different strategy. But if I'm wrong on GU, and the dollar picks up some strength, then I'm going to look to play EU to the downside with this head and shoulders. That's what I'm going to do. So make sure you save that one. That's one to take a look at in the next week or so, for sure. I'm going to keep that there. Okay. WTI, I was actually reading about WTI, Laura, because where was it? Here we go. 58 minutes ago, crude oil is set for its steepest monthly drop in April amid trade war and easing OPEC cuts. Oil prices are on track to post their worst monthly performance for April as mounting concerns of a global slowing economy, fueled by ongoing US-led trade tensions, dampen outlook for energy demand. It's nothing we don't really know, to be honest. So when I go onto the WTI chart, here it is. Remember this? At the beginning of the week? Remember I mentioned to you how it would be great if we could get a move up to the 61.8, but you can see that we've actually failed at the 50% of this move. God, this looks break of structure on the 4-hour euro dollar and a demand zone right there. I'll take a look at that. This looks bearish to me. This looks very bearish. Wow. The difficulty is, where do we get in? I was just reading what you said there, Lara. You're entering for the third time. Did you manage to get in up here when we spoke about it at the beginning of the week? If you did, nice one. That's a great call. There was that move lower. Brief pause there, and this is our next leg. So, okay, well, on the 1 hour. Really difficult market to get involved in. Really difficult market, because this is just on a complete grind lower. I hate this price action because it makes it really difficult to know where your entry is, because there's no like imbalance. Price is really balanced here as we move down. This is one of those ones where I always say, okay, right, so there's some imbalance in there. This is on I'm gone down to the 15-minute now. Maybe somewhere in here. Can we get that? It's a scalp though. But either way, in terms of direction, I believe that we are going to come and test below 55 again. Should the news continue to be about OPEC production hikes or whatever, and global demand slowing down, and the news is just, it fails to be positive for the bulls anyway on crude oil. But very nice trade, and I believe that now we've had this breakout here, that's going to give us the fuel, I think, to make a move down to 54, 55. Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely. Okay, right, so just to keep you in the loop in terms of if you are heading into trades this week, or in the next 24 hours, there's a lot of news, like a lot. We've got CPI data out of Europe. It's not really what I'm focusing on too much. What I'm focusing on mainly is, as we head into the afternoon, we've got ADP employment change, core PCE, which is very rare that we have it on a Wednesday like this. It's normally on a Friday. GDP, so we find out the economic growth figures in the US as well, the final. Trump talking. And on top of that, earnings. Microsoft, Meta, tonight, tomorrow, Apple and Amazon. There's a lot of data coming out in the next 24 hours. So I expect volatility to pick up significantly. So if you do manage to get into a trade today, try not to be disappear from the charts unless you know what your risk management is, and you've protected yourself, or you've put yourself, you've taken some money off the table or something like that, because you may find that when you come back to the screens, a lot's changed. I'm actually interested to hear about the speech today from Trump. Or has he already had it? Or is there another one today? Yeah, that was a Michigan one, the Michigan speech yesterday. I know about that. There's another one today, it seems, on the calendar. Which is always important, by the way. That's always an important one. It's on Thursdays. Maybe this calendar's wrong. Either way, the next 24 hours are going to be massive. So when it comes to sort of the earnings, obviously after the bell today, the closing bell, Microsoft and Meta, obviously Microsoft in particular, massive company. So really interested to hear not just necessarily what their earnings per share and their revenues are, but there's a lot of pressure on Microsoft in particular to start to record good revenue from AI. So if their AI outlook isn't as strong, I think that's going to cause some negativity around the report. But obviously it could be strong. I'm not sure. Either one of those two. Generally speaking, what we're looking for when it comes to earnings is, I said, not necessarily the actual figures, but the forward guidance that they talk about. So like how they feel the company's going to perform in like 6 to 12 months, when we're expecting this slowdown in the economy. Because if they show some caution towards that, that's going to bring the sort of recession fears back, because it will look like they're bracing for it, but they may shrug it off, and the stats may back that. So you've obviously got both sides here. That's why I'm interested to see how these earnings reports play out. So when they do come out, I will study each one on the next stream or in the Discord channel or something. If anyone's interested, I will break down what that means. So obviously that's going to put a lot of emphasis on the Nasdaq for today. If we look on the daily, you can see, to be fair, the recovery from the bottom has been okay. 27% is how much we fell. We've currently rallied that much. So we currently have fallen from the high, roughly say 12%, which in the grand scheme of things now doesn't look too bad. Oh, sorry, I'll drop you the link to that. Here you go. There's the earnings calendar. And the Academy Osama is very much on the go. I've actually scripted the whole of Module 1. And I'm going to start recording it this week. So fingers crossed we can get that Academy out in the summer. That would be amazing. And I will keep you updated on that for you. And then you can... There is a fundamentals section in there, so you can learn the different events and stuff. Playing around here. It's been actually it's been quite a nice little breakout. And when you actually study the market structure, obviously that was a big bearish move. A new lower high, next lower low. Obviously very volatile. Next lower high, and then you can actually see here we created actually a higher low, and now we're just seeing signs of the balls come back in. So if we do have quite a positive earnings report, it wouldn't surprise me if the Nasdaq makes a move at least up to 20,000 today or this week. So keep that one in mind. I'm not going to trade it because I've got my GU trade on. I'm going to let that play out because there's loads of data coming out. But I do like the recovery that I'm seeing, and it would just sort of take a strong or a fairly robust earnings report for this to move. But still things are really uncertain. I mean, look how oil is falling. If I check copper prices as well, okay, copper prices have rallied here. They're on the way down again. And what I'm seeing between copper and oil this morning and today, I know things can change, is that there is still like a recessionary play here that I'm seeing. So I don't think we're out of the woods yet, for sure. But it'd be a really interesting. It's going to be a really interesting week to see when all this data comes out. Obviously, NFP on Friday is massive, because if that's a really weak jobs market, then that's going to cause more recessionary fears. But also, we could be in for a risk-on period. Should earnings be okay, NFP's okay, we see more deals with the tariffs, etc. It's on a knife's edge really at the moment. Gold, I haven't got really any update on, to be honest. It's sort of just consolidating and sitting around 3,300. These are the times where people like lose loads of money because they get so excited from the previous volatility, and they're like, why isn't it moving like this anymore? And they can't understand the markets don't just move in straight lines. There's periods of consolidation, there's periods of expansion. We're quite clearly in a consolidation period in gold here. So you can get chopped out for days if you keep following ranging markets. Okay, so just be careful about that. Okay, good stuff. That was quite an in-depth stream. I hope everyone enjoyed or took something from that. If there are any other questions that anyone needs, of course you can ask me in the Discord channel, and I'll reply to you. You know, I'm active on it pretty much all the time. I've even got it on my phone, so I'll be able to reply to you as soon as I can. Good luck today. There is a lot of data coming out, so I'll be studying that because I'll be in the office and I'll be seeing it as it comes out. So anything that's crazy, I'm sure we can talk about it in the Discord channel. Okay. Thank you very much for those who tuned in. Trade well, trade safe, and I'll see you all for the next stream. Thank you.